Hey guys, it's Emma here. I hope you all are doing well. I'm coming out today to talk about something that's really hard for me to talk about. I've tried to film this video many a time. I have not been successful, but I'm just like, you know what? I really need to share this because it could help save other doggies. And a massive amount of loss and pain from their owners. So I'm going to share with you why, in my experience, I would not use Rover, the dog sitting, dog walking, boarding app, or at the minimum use extreme caution. From what I have learned, I think it is always the best bet to either use somebody that you already know directly and trust, or like get referrals of dog walkers or sitters through people that you know and trust, just so there's that extra layer, there's that layer of security coming from a trustworthy person, right? By no means are all Rover sitters bad people or not good at what they do. The problem is just, it is extremely hard, if not impossible, to know based on their profiles. Because, I mean, you can have a really perfect looking profile, be really caring and understanding and responsive to questions and requests and all these things, and not be in it for the right reasons and be putting on a facade, essentially. Unfortunately, there are some people on this app that probably aren't even really dog people at all. They just want to make money easily. I have heard from several of my friends who had to use Rover sitters and then ended up finding out they were just keeping them in a crate and barely checking on them or taking care of their daily needs. This is unfortunately a lot more common than you'd think. I discovered this when I joined a support group on Facebook for the loss of a dog through Rover, and I was shocked by just how many people there were in there. Sorry, it's going to be hard for me to get through this, but I'm going to try my best. I need to share this for Persephone, who was my sweet angel baby bean. I'll link in the description the article that went out. I was interviewed by the newspaper in Charlotte that tells you a lot about her story. But I adopted her when she was 8 years old. She was partially deaf and blind, and she had been a bait dog. So she was missing this part of her face, so she had like a cleft palate. And she had been in the shelter for almost a year. And this wonderful woman began fostering her and started posting her journey on TikTok, which went viral, which I actually didn't know about. We saw her on Charlotte Animal Care and Control's website, and just fell in love with her instantly. Went to meet her at her foster's house, and it was a done deal. This is Persephone. Oh, the glare. There you go. The sweetest baby in the whole world. You would never guess that she was a senior dog because she had all the energy in the world, loved to play, loved to get into stuff. Definitely, you know, there was a lot of difficulties, behavioral difficulties with her, but I feel like she knew that she was cared for and she had a home finally. And she was the most loving, sweet, affectionate dog. Just such a goofy dog, full of personality. Was amazing with all people. Just, you know, could not be around other animals for good reason because of her traumatic past. So, you know, this makes it more difficult to find care for a dog, right? So, you know, very unfortunately, you know, myself and my husband were had basically a relapse into our addiction and really struggled. And you know, it got to the point where, you know, I mean, I kept delaying trying to get help because I wanted to be there for Persephone and I didn't want her to feel like abandoned by me, and I was not going to give her up by any means. But eventually I realized I'm not doing a service to her. I need to be able to, I need to be clean and to be my best self, to take care of her the best that I can. And so, you know, the fact that all of my close friends and family have other animals, which means she can't, be in the same house. But I did have a friend that was staying at my apartment and watching her, who I trusted. And then, I went to rehab. I got out and I moved into sober living, which is where I knew I needed to be. I had always resisted doing this, but at this point, I understood I was out of chances. I needed to do whatever was suggested to me, which is why I did that. However, then I found out that this person was no longer able to watch her. So, we went and got her. And it was a very urgent situation of trying to find where somebody who could take care of her, because we were going to get kicked out of sober living if we couldn't have her there, right? And I was desperate. I could not find a single sitter in Asheville that didn't have another dog in the household. Looking back, I wish I had done so many things differently. I would say, please don't use Rover. There are some amazing dog boarding services at the time. I just thought that wasn't, I would just, I wanted her to be in a house with somebody where she could have more freedom, and I didn't want her to be in a crate. But they're not all boarding facilities are like that. It's just important to make sure that it is a legitimate business that will treat your animals with the love and care that you are trusting them to do. So long story short, I ended up finding this woman on Rover in Charlotte, which is where we had lived, but moved to Asheville, which is where I live now. And this was the only woman I could find that didn't have, well, not the only, but one of very few people that did not have another dog in the household. And her profile seemed amazing. She had experience caring for senior dogs. She wasn't currently working and was going to be home all the time, and was able to meet all my dog's specific needs. I just want to say she completely, she said she could meet every single one of my dog's needs. The profile that I made for my dog was extremely elaborate and extensive. So much so that people had asked before actually responded, no, I don't think I can, that's too much of an undertaking for me, which is fine. I mean, it's mostly that she's, an anxious dog. It's going to take her a minute to adjust to a new environment. She needs a lot of attention and affection. And I said sometimes when she's anxious, if she's really stressing out, she'll pee on something to try to get your attention as a way to signal, I need more attention, which is something we were working on. But, I let her know all these things, like she can't hear, she's got no vision in one eye, there's a lot to take on, and, she's being paid for this service deliberately, right? She completely, we had a lot of conversation, seemed like she had the experience and was up for this, and I was extremely nervous and unsure, but I really didn't know what to do. And at this point, I didn't know, like, the how many dogs have lost their lives because of Rover. And I wish I would give anything to be able to go back and change this, but I can't. So yeah, I brought her to this woman's house, met her and her partner, and honestly didn't get a bad vibe from them. I mean, they were young, but so am I, and I felt like she seemed like a good person, and I trusted her. And sorry, that is my dog Charlie. Trying to get something. Anyway, yeah, I trusted her. So I dropped her off with a brand new leash, super durable, food, toys, everything she needed. And not even 48 hours later, I got a message from her saying that she had lost my dog. Okay? In the middle of the night, at like 3 a.m., she lost my dog. And what she claimed was that my dog was being way too much, was being crazy. She took my dog out, and my dog pulled so hard that the leash snapped, and she just ran away, and she couldn't catch her in time, and she was looking for her all night long and couldn't find her. So that story is not true. I already know that. Yes, my dog, she's a pit bull. However, she's 50 pounds. That leash is designed for extremely strong dogs and was brand new, there's 0 way she snapped that leash. Also, my dog's not a runner. The only way she will only wander off. She won't run away from you. She's not like, like a husky that is trying to get away. She doesn't do that. She wants to be near to you. She's just curious. So what I assume happened is that she peed in the middle of the night, because later on this lady, oh my God, yeah, she ended up cursing me out, telling me like that I'm a terrible person and that my dog isn't like an evil, like a horrible dog, and that I didn't tell her that the dog might pee, which is not true. I did tell her. And she blamed me for her losing her job and made it all about her. Like, how am I going to feed my kids now? Because she was fired from Rover for her own actions. And she made it all about her and didn't do anything to help out my dog. So that's what someone with a wonderful profile, and then you get that. That's why I'm telling you, do not use Rover. Use extreme caution. And I'm talking especially about dogs sitting or like boarding at someone's home. With dog walkers, I feel like you still need to use caution no matter what. I just feel like, especially when you are leaving your dog in somebody's home, so much more can go wrong. But anyway, let me finish telling you the story. Even though it's so hard. I don't like talking about it, but it needs to be shared. It hurts, and it will always hurt. This dog literally saved my life, by the way, when I had a heart attack. And she was my guiding light through the darkest time of my life. And she deserved so much better than this. She went through so much suffering in her life, and it's just so not fair. She deserved so much better. And I wish that, I could give that to her today, now that I have stability and all of this in my life. But anyways, so yeah, I wake up at like 7 a.m. and I see these texts, right? And I'm just gonna tell you, so basically that's the whole story of what happened with the sitter specifically. I don't believe that she did this on purpose. I think she was negligent and clearly does not know how to take care of dogs, or reactive dogs like she claimed she did. And yeah, she ended up doing nothing to help, and wrote a horrible review about my dog on the profile, even though now that profile is a memorial profile. Just disgusting behavior. Acting like an infant the entire time, never taking accountability, just lying, and then making it all about her. How is she gonna feed her children? She didn't do her job. She had one job: keep my dog safe, and she didn't meet that job. So yeah, that was her part in allowing this awful thing to happen. And then I'll tell you the other half of the nightmare, why I don't have my dog now. So yeah, I get all these calls, and I get another call from 2 unknown numbers. I see the voicemails, and I'm looking through all of them in a panic. Essentially, Persephone had on a harness that had a QR code on it that you could scan. When it's scanned, it sends me a message with the location where it's been scanned. And I got emails that the harness had been scanned twice that night. So what happened was she wandered off to this nearby chemical processing plant nearby the sitter's house, and they found her. And I got a call saying, hey, your dog ran in here. She's super sweet. We all love her. Just call us back when you get this, when you wake up. And then I got another call from a different guy saying like, hey, I work at this chemical plant, and your dog's super sweet, but we can't have her in the facility. So I'm gonna take her home. Call me when you get this. You can come pick her up. So when I hear that, I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh my God. Great. Okay. So I call him immediately. He answers the phone. Completely different tone, completely different person, seeming, honestly. And I was like, hey, you said you have my dog. Can I come get her? Like, is everything okay? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have your dog anymore. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I'm sorry, what? And he's like, very vague, very minimal information. It says she scared me. I think she was a fighting dog. I'm sorry, I had to dump her at the Whitewater plant. I mean, not the Whitewater plant, the Whitewater Center. Click. And guess what? He blocked me. He blocked me. And at this point, I was just, I entered hell. I did not even know what to think. I was so confused. The message he had sent just a little while before, he was like, oh, your dog is so sweet, I'm just gonna bring her home, you know. And then I was trying to figure out, it didn't make any sense to me why he would dump her at the Whitewater Center. And then I see he scanned the tag again after he called me, which he claims was from scanning a picture of it. But I found that to be, that's when this whole thing made my alarm bells just go off like crazy. So basically I lost it. And I figured out where his house was, and I was like, the distance that would have taken him to go to the Whitewater Center doesn't make any sense. Like, there's so many animal shelters, and I just couldn't understand what, this guy seemed to be caring and liked dogs enough to bring this dog home to his house, and then all of a sudden he's just saying he dumped my dog. So I knew something was incredibly wrong. So, I got this amazing animal rescue group called Epic involved. They were fantastic. They helped me so much. It was a rigorous effort, getting flyers up everywhere, getting the word out like crazy. And fortunately, like, the fact that my dog had, this following on TikTok from her foster mom and had been on the news and stuff, that was helpful in, like, the word spread like wildfire, I feel like. And so many people were trying to help me, which I'm so grateful for. There were so many leads that, none turned out to be her, but people were really trying to help me. I got a bajillion scam texts, and the day I lost her, got scammed out of $400. So if you do lose your dog, be aware that you will be bombarded with scammers literally forever if you are still posting about the dog. I just got a call 2 weeks ago from someone claiming they hit my dog with their car and they needed money. And I was like, wow. So anyways, and did a canine search. It was really unclear as if her scent, they thought maybe they found her scent near the Whitewater Center, but it went cold. It was a dead end. So I got the police involved and a private investigator looking at this guy. I figured out who he was just by doing internet sleuthing from his phone number, and then basically, I sent the police over to his house. The police agreed that it was highly suspicious, and they felt like maybe there's a crime being committed here. She was not there at his house. At this point, this guy still won't talk to me. He would never talk to me again. Blocked me on everything. His wife, however, starts coming after me, non-stop berating me with calls and texts and messages, being like, my husband is such a good guy, he would never do this, blah, blah. And I just kept saying, like, it's kind of suspicious how desperate you are trying to convince me that he's a good guy. I just want to talk to him. I was like, he's the one, like, I want to know the details of what happened. He's not giving me details. I'm trying to piece this together, and the fact that he won't give me details is very suspicious. And she was just going back a broken record. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And I was like, none of this is reassuring me that he's a good guy. It's just not. Something is wrong. Essentially, it was months of searching, so much help from amazing individuals, and we have never found her. It has now been coming up on 18 months without my Persephone. I'm going to tell you what I believe is what happened. I don't know this for certain. This is just what I've kind of come to as a conclusion based on what I just think this is the most logical explanation. I would love to believe that somebody found her and assumed that she was not in a good situation and just took her in, but I don't think that that's likely. But I just hope and believe in my heart that she's in a better place and that she's not suffering and she's at peace, and that's what she deserves. What I believe happened was because I found this guy's Facebook page and looked through it, and I see he's got dogs. He is a dog lover, which makes sense why he brought her home. However, on her tag thing, if you read it, if you scan it and read it, it says, I am not safe around other dogs. I can't be around other dogs. My guess is, he didn't read that or see that. Oops. And then he brought her home. She was super sweet, loving, until he brought her into that house with other dogs. I mean, Persephone was in a dog fighting ring for years as a bait dog. She can't be around other dogs. She immediately is on defense mode or attack mode to try to protect herself. So that's what I think happened. He brought her home, and then she started attacking his dogs. That's my guess. And then he shot her or did something to her to protect his dogs, and then lied and blocked me and evaded to try to evade repercussions, because it's not legal to harm another animal. But I just wish he'd be honest, because if that's what happened, as horrific and awful as that is, it would be so much less painful if he would just tell me. But that's not going to happen. So that's my theory of what happened. I feel like that would explain the massive change in his demeanor, right? But I don't know for sure. I just know that Rover's not safe. You can't trust people. It has to be somebody that you know and can trust, or someone that you know and trust has thoroughly referred you to them, and you get to know them thoroughly beforehand, because people can put on a performance and be who you want them to be until there are closed doors. And that's what's so scary about things like Rover. Although, again, as I said, not everyone, there are some really good sitters and walkers on that app. There are, undoubtedly. It's just the process of knowing who is and who isn't. But yeah, this video is for Persephone. She did not deserve this. My heart will always be incomplete without her. She was my soul dog, and I wouldn't be here today without her. And she just deserves so much better. So I really hope this can help prevent this loss from happening to anybody else. Being in this support group on Facebook has helped me realize this is an issue. This is not by any means the first time something like this has happened. I mean, I'm grateful that she was fired from Rover immediately, but there's an ongoing issue here. So yeah, please stay safe. Thank you for watching this. Share this video if you feel like somebody could benefit from hearing this. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye.